It is not a secret that Bangalore is a complete ecosystem for startups and fintechs, the breeding ground of many striking innovations. Located in the heart of South India and nicknamed the Silicon Valley of Asia, Bangalore is home to over 12.5 million people with an average economic growth rate of 6.5%. Bangalore is evolving at an astonishingly fast pace. This rapid economic growth can be primarily attributed to one factor, the IT industry. This session will focus on some of the most pertinent points in the journey of fintechs and IT companies from Karnataka. Moderating this session, we have with us Mitra Bhanu Chaudhary, Director of Economic Development and Infrastructure with EY, who is joined by Anubhav Jain, co-founder Rupify, Yogesh Agarwal, founder Onsurity, Riya Bhattacharya, Chief Executive Officer Navi FinServe, and Sudarshan Lodha, co-founder and Chief Executive Officer with Strata. Welcome to the panel, everybody. And with that, I would like to pass the mic on to our session moderator, Mitra Bhanu, who will take the discussions forward. Over to you, Mitra Bhanu.
Thank you, Amit. And good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all the panelists. And it's great to be in Bengaluru for this micro experience session. And today we're going to talk to a few fintech companies from Karnataka who represent what the city is all about. The success of these companies talk a lot about how the state and especially the city has provided a great ecosystem when it comes to IT, fintech, startups, and as Amit said, the city has been known for that. So, without wasting any more time, I'll start over to my move to my panelists. And what I would also want to tell the audience that in the panel we have very varied startups. I mean, startups who are looking at lending to MSMEs, startups who are looking at commercial real estate investments. One of the startups is into providing health insurance and other benefits to employees. And there is one more startup which talks about giving loan to you in minutes. So again, very varied portfolio. And I'll request, I'll start with Anubhav. Anubhav, if you could tell our audience and your experience of how you bootstrapped, how did you start up, and how did the ecosystem person in Bengaluru helped you in your initial ideation, conceptualization and seeding stage, and if there are any challenges en route if you faced, the audience would like to hear your experience.
Sure, thanks Mitra. I think I can start by saying that when we started this company Rupify, we were all a group of people who came not from Karnataka. So I belong to the northern part of India, my co-founders belong to the northeast part of the country. We have a core team which comes from different states of the country, but everybody is here in Karnataka because the ecosystem is such that it's so favorable to start a company out here. So I think it helps on various points, and we'll all echo the same sentiment. The ecosystem, when we talk about that's there in Karnataka, especially Bangalore, as a city, is quite favorable for a company to come up and start. And there are multiple factors, when an entrepreneur or a founder looks to starting a company, while the idea and the people are all things that are playing on his mind, but there are other factors as well in terms of how do you get support from people, what kind of customers can you quickly acquire, which is the right market. Right, Bangalore being very cosmopolitan obviously checks on all those parameters. The investor community, if you see, if you're looking to raise funds from angel investors, from like-minded people, from industry experts, I think Bangalore has a very good mix. So we could find most of our early investors in the city through our network very quickly. I still remember a conversation we had with one of the very well-known angel investors in the country, where we were sitting in a cafe in Indiranagar and a 15-minute coffee conversation led into an investment in Rupify. So I think that talks a lot about the Silicon Valley-like culture that we have in Bangalore. While I was in San Francisco, people used to joke that there is a Starbucks just below Twitter office, and if you want to hire engineers, you can hire in like minutes, right? All you have to do is just stand up in the Starbucks and say I'm looking for people, and you'll probably get 2 or 3 interested people. Right. I think we are on the same lines in Bangalore. There are a lot of places here where you'll constantly find buzzing entrepreneurs and technology guys, engineers, product people sitting and chatting about different ideas.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's very exciting. So I think that's where the ecosystem really helps when you talk about startups and especially starting a new company.
Right. Thanks, Anubhav. Yogesh, I'll move on to you, and you have secured a large initial funding in the firm. When it comes to specifically funding, and I'd obviously love to hear your experience as well, and I'm sure the audience would love to do that. Also, do add your bits and your experiences on the funding bit, on the investor ecosystem, and how did you kind of reach out to investor? What were your modes? Did you use a existing incubator, or did you use an angel network to do that, or did it on your own? I think that is what budding startups would want to know.
Sure. So in terms of our experience when it comes to the investors, I would say that for me and Kulin, this was like our first, for me it was like a first entrepreneurship journey. So to be very honest, we did not landed to any incubation center, and we managed to get funds to directly speaking to a couple of VCs and couple of funds put together. But but just coming to Bangalore means basically I have never been to Bangalore, and I relocated to Bangalore around like 2 years back, and mostly I was from insurance background. So basically for me till 2019, before moving to Bangalore, I was an insurance guy, but the Bangalore had really made me like an insurtech guy, because adding the tech to the insurance world is mostly because of the Bangalore phenomenon. So when I landed to Bangalore or Karnataka, so it was the complete aura which actually moved towards like, yeah, this can be solved in technology, this can be solved through technology, and these are the guys who really think about the product and technology, which stereotypically when we were in Bombay, leading and sitting in different CXO positions at Bombay, we were not realizing that these are the impacts that can get created through data and technology. But yeah, so that was where my a bit pieces in my journey on how it was for Bangalore in very short format. In terms of the funding, we were lucky, so we did not have to go through a very big list of angel wala
process. Yeah.
Angel wala process. Yes, but what I have realized, one of the best part of Bangalore is how the budding founders really help and groom the other founders and mentorship. So we were lucky that there were like couple of founders whom we have worked previously had really guided us, mentored us in all the aspects, be it like getting the right hiring done, how to build the right culture, and again it's keep on going around. So for us, the best part of the Bangalore is that all the founders and other CEOs in the startup ecosystems are really very, very helpful.
True. Thanks, Yogesh. I'd like to move on to you and hear from you. You're trying to sort of revolutionize the entire loan process, loan within minutes in your account through an app. So again, what's your perspective on Bangalore and you being located out of here? How has that helped, and how has the city contributed to your success? I think everybody would like to hear that.
See, our journey started with really the group having the vision to change the way financial services is delivered to the middle class consumer, right? And that thought process by itself, I think, is as Yogesh has mentioned, right? It's hard to even imagine that out of any other city, right? Like look at how payments has changed, right? And all these consumer centricity, right? And you need people, you need an ecosystem which believes in this, right? So I think it's so natural, it comes naturally to Bangaloreans, correct, right? Whether you talk about people you hire, whether you talk about well-wishers, whether you, in some bits and pieces, even regulators, right? Because we are into not only, we are into lending, but as a group, we've also now become an asset management company, right? And we've also become a general insurer, and we're trying to do things very differently, right? So yeah, I think just the
diversification is something obviously that will do. But
it is right from, as I said, right from how everyone tries to make you win.
Yeah,
I think that to finding the like-minded people who want to change things, and I've also I'm not a Bangalorean, right? So this, I've seen this change. It comes very naturally to the entire ecosystem here, and that just helps a lot. I think.
Right. Thanks, Riya. So, Darshan, you from Chennai and you moved here to start Strata. What's been your journey? What's been your experience?
I mean, I agree with what everyone's spoken also, right, already. I think, when someone asks what's culture here, right, culture is about exchanging ideas, right?
Yeah.
So people, like how she said, it's very collaborative as an environment here itself. No one's here to eat you up or trying to put you down, which in other cities, even Chennai for that matter, is a very common thing, right? Perhaps are not happy with your success itself for that matter, but here people are so proud if you do very, very well. And such a collaborative thing, right? Like what Yogesh mentioned, all the founders are here, CEOs are here. Even over a cup of coffee, it can even be like, okay, how do you build culture here? What kind of engagement activities you do for your employees? What are the ways in which what worked for you in marketing, what didn't work for you in marketing? These smaller insights for that matter, which helps. Let's say we are just 1.5 years old, right? But I can see that I'm already 3 years old from a vision standpoint, because many other companies, especially our investors portfolio companies, which we keep talking to very proactively, they tell us things which didn't work for them early on, so that we don't make those mistakes.
The learning curve is much more. Yeah.
That learning curve saves you time, money, right? And
Yeah.
as startups, what are we chasing? We're not chasing money, we're chasing only time, right? How fast can we grow in the shortest time
Yeah.
possible? So having said that, that is the kind of ecosystem which just welcomes you and with an open arms just, absorbs you in it completely. There's a
True.
different vibe here, and honestly, it is too addictive.
Yeah.
Once you're here, you just can't
That's a
even
good
think
one.
of moving out of the city.
Yeah, I think the city, the climate, the culture, the people around, everything helps.
Correct.
So I think everybody's got a fair idea of how Bangalore has helped all of you kind of grow and scale up. I'm sure that there would be some niggles, some issues somewhere. And again, I would start from Anubhav. What were the key issues that you faced, and where can you think the city can further improve? And we still have Mumbai, we still have Delhi, we still have Chennai, Kolkata or Hyderabad, and they have some other USP. I mean, is there something where Bangalore can improve when it comes to fintech, IT and startups?
Sure, and I'll not go, talking about traffic and all. So, that's something we can all speak for later on.
No, but I think way of living is something that people do look at before coming to a city.
Yeah, I think so. The infrastructure wise, definitely there is a lot to be improved. I mean, if you compare it to Delhi, I mean, the infrastructure is far superior. But there are various other factors that contribute to Bangalore being the choice for founders and for companies to start. I think there are certain points which still can be improved, and that would probably make it almost perfect as a place for companies to come here. One definitely is because we are talking about fintech and financial services here. Even today, while technology capital is Bangalore, but the financial capital of the country continues to be Mumbai. And I think that is something which is slowly changing, but we still are not there. For fintech startups to consider, right? If you look at e-commerce, if you look at health tech, if you look at insurtech, a lot of companies are Bangalore based, right?
Right.
But when it comes to partnering, because partnering is a very key part of fintech ecosystem, especially because it's a very heavily regulated industry compared to many other areas. So working with these regulated entities, whether it's working with SEBI, if you are working on the finance side, whether it's working with lenders, I think a lot of key decision makers still are based out of Mumbai, and that, especially post pandemic, makes it difficult because earlier, while we were traveling every week, every now and then to Mumbai to meet people and to close deals, I think now that's happening more virtually. It's not that you can't materialize things, but it just takes.
I mean, there's no replacement of face-to-face meetings.
There is no replacement for face-to-face, as per if you ask me, and I think it just takes its own time to build those relationships. If you are building those across different geographical locations, so that kind of innovation and infrastructure needs to travel to Bangalore from Bombay, and I think that's where it would really help companies who are looking to do small pilots, who are looking to try out new things, and they need a partner to work with. They can easily get going instead of
Constantly
finding the
traveling.
right people and talking to people in different locations. So I think that's one point which comes to my mind as the number one thing, where if that somehow gets taken care of either by these companies and lenders and financial institutions setting up their own startup friendly innovation hubs or areas where we can work
They
together.
can collaborate. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think would definitely help, especially the fintech industry in Karnataka.
Fair point. I mean, airline CEOs will not be happy listening to the suggestion, but yeah. So Yogesh, same question to you from your industry perspective. What else do you want in Bangalore to make it sort of close to perfect?
So basically, of course, completely agreeing with Anubhav. I still remember that cracking any kind of an insurance partnership, we have to run to Bombay. I think, but for us, pandemic helped us because the virtual meetings really helped us because just you have to do like a 1 hour or 2 hour meeting and
Save
you
the
just
entire
have
day.
to take like a 4 a.m. flight in the morning and then again come back. But that was the thing, of course. I think what I understand that in Karnataka and especially in Bangalore, there's a fintech city that's coming around near to the airport. So if there are like, what we understand from the market sources that they are planning to have like an international financial city,
Center.
what has been there in Gujarat. So if those avenues starts opening up, I think for the fintechs and all the insurtechs verticals, these opportunity will be very humongous because then sitting in Bangalore, you can again start touching the international borders very easily through those particular centers and government initiatives. But yes, if those initiatives can be quicker, can be tracked, it's a project. And if it's the deadline, what we understand, it's 2022. But if it still gets delivered by
Expedited, yeah.
2023 or 2024, still there is a path and the roadmap that, of course, some of the good parts that can be brought in the fintech space can be achieved through this particular path. But yeah, to be very honest, for us, it's no complaint for Bangalore. And but yeah, of course, once the pandemic gets over and everything will back in track, then traffic will, of course, be the challenge.
Yeah. So thank you for touching upon that point of the International Financial Center. I'll come back to you. I'll come back on that question to everybody. So Riya, coming to you, your clients are typically retail clients, mostly, whereas both of them are mostly into B2B interactions. How different was it for you, during this pandemic time, and second, from a ecosystem perspective, anything that you would want to improve, anything that you would want to add?
So I think because our clients are largely, digital, we serve them digitally. So to that extent, I would say that pandemic has been not a challenge in when it comes to reaching out to those clients, to our retail customers. But and I would say that we as a city, while I definitely agree with what both of them have said, right? I think Bangalore as a city has to imagine how do we get the best of talent back from Silicon Valley itself, right? I mean, if we are creating this sort of an ecosystem and our startups today, we are, with the kind of listings that we are seeing, the kind of value that is getting created, right? Why should we not think in those lines, right? We have to think far ahead, and the vision of the city and hence the supply, right? That of infrastructure that needs to be created. I think with that mindset that the best of who goes to Silicon Valley today should be automatically just thinking of coming back, because for us and I think for all of us, the constraints are largely around our supply of infrastructure and supply of talent, right? So how do we think beyond just whatever Bangalore has amongst itself. We can, the supply.
I think very fair point. I mean, what happens is Bangalore obviously is the go-to market for entry-level IT jobs, and that is where everybody takes a train or a plane. But then, how do you take Bangalore up the value chain? To slightly specialized talent, which you probably would get in Silicon Valley and may not get here immediately, or would be a costlier affair
Yes.
compared to, so I think that's where the game would lie in the next 8 or 10 years to probably.
Yes, I think how do you create the best data science community, right? How do you create all of these? We have to think actively, like, because there are other cities which have started to think. There are, like, Israel has created its own ecosystem. Montreal is creating its own ecosystem, right? How do we think in those lines? Because if we have to, as an ecosystem, rise up, we have to think like globally.
I think so. For the audience, one takeaway: Bangalore has no competition in India. It's all Israel or San Francisco. so that's good to hear. Sudarshan, coming to you, and same question. But from your perspective, it's more market oriented because you know the pulse of the market. Is business growing or business coming down? So what's your take on this?
Well, I'll give you 2-3 insights. First, answer your first question on what Bangalore can improve as such, right? Like agreeing to what Yogesh and Anubhav did mention, right? I mean, today our regulators sit in Bombay, RBI sits in Delhi, I don't know where IRDAI sits, etc. But then, end of the day, when they know technology is a way things are going to get disrupted, like what he mentioned, insurance is now insurance tech altogether, finance is now fintech altogether. And the ecosystem, like I mentioned earlier when I said that, there's a different vibe here and it's addictive, and you blend into this ecosystem very easily, right?
True.
But if you sit in Bombay, which has been traditional age old, no offense to Bombay, it's a great city altogether, but then the city thinks more progressively 10 years ahead from a business standpoint, and they've been traditional with their approach as such, and has done well though, but I believe it's no longer the future as such. So for regulators also, in my opinion, thinking of setting up offices here, being in the ecosystem, talk to people here like-minded, like what Yogesh mentioned, take a 4 a.m. flight, spend 2 hours, but then imagine just meeting them for a cup of coffee, just at another Starbucks. We can get things going very, very easily, and things are happening here very proactively. I was speaking to a friend of mine where one of the large funds, almost 70% of the mutual fund gets sold through startups based out of Bangalore, right? Okay. So you can imagine if this can happen, why are those banks having their development offices also there? Correct. Even so, forget regulators alone, even banks, these financial institutions should look at setting up their development centers here, the innovation labs here, and work very proactively with this ecosystem so that we can do, right? Because it has venture capitalists who think very progressively, trying to back every good startup who thinks very progressively as well. So it's just that piece of puzzle which is missing right now, and if this is here, I think if we can grow today at a 10x speed, honestly we can grow at a 100x speed perhaps once if these guys are here. And more importantly, that whole mindset change which can happen if these guys are here can be a beneficial thing, right? Like you mentioned, we are competition to the world, right? So there was a point back then where if it was made in Japan, quality is of top class. If it's made in Bangalore, top quality, right? From all aspects. We know I can blindly bet my money on this, and they'll definitely do well.
Right, great. So I think I'll come back to a pointed question to everyone. So now I was reading today morning, Gift City was set up 8 or 9 years back. It took really some time to take off. We had to have regulatory changes, etc. But now it's, I think, about 270 odd units have set up, and it's slowly progressing. And so given an option, would you shift to Gift City? Very, very pointed question.
Sure. No, absolutely. I think Gurgaon is a very good example of how connectivity to airport, how being concentration of like-minded ecosystem in one particular location has helped a large city not crumble under its own pressure.
Correct.
Right. Bangalore today is on the verge of that because it's a small city.
Not planned for
the infrastructure currently does not support that kind of an expansion, and airport is still a distance away. So there is a possibility to set up a kind of a small suburb in that area. I think I very anxiously await a Gurgaon-like setup somewhere closer to the airport. It really helps everybody. I think travel is slowly opening up. There would definitely be pressure on the HSR and Koramangala regions in the next few months, and not everybody can stay close to their work, because if traffic is an issue, if travel time is a constraint, then people would like to stay as close to their work location as possible, even though we are working remotely today. But I think we need to plan for that future, right? We are all humans. We would like to get back into office whenever possible, and if the pandemic is over soon, I think then that becomes another factor that everybody considers. So having a Gurgaon or a Greater Noida kind of a setup at 2 or 3 locations in Bangalore will definitely help. I think Electronic City was set up with that mindset, and I think there is definite scope for Bangalore to have 1 or 2 such initiatives. So
Right.
we'll definitely back it up.
Sure. Yogesh, you mentioned the point, so yeah.
I actually missed the question. You asked about GIFT
I mean, I'm
Gujarat
saying-
or GIFT Bangalore?
No, GIFT City in Gujarat, I'm saying a similar concept, a similar infrastructure somewhere which is integrated, your clients are there with you versus Bangalore currently. What appeals more?
See, if something similar that can be set up in Bangalore,
To
definitely.
the best of both worlds, yeah.
Definitely, because see, at the end of the day, I guess if we have to bring any people from, in fact, these days even the Bombay guys are telling that the cost is high in Bangalore, but you cannot help it. But when it comes back to the GIFT kind of a city, GIFT city kind of a framework that's there in Gujarat, I think that will completely blown up in Bangalore kind of a setup, because I guess that model was not yet very successful, because effectively not the brightest talent is very keen to in that particular reason, though don't take me as an offense there, but in Bangalore you have everything, you have investors, you have good talent, you have also like
I mean, all the puzzles fit in.
all the puzzles. Only thing is that people need to shift from HSR to Kempegowda, near to the airport. So that's what, but definitely it will.
And I think infrastructure is
Yeah.
something which is primarily government and regulator driven. So once you drive that from a supply side, demand will automatically pick up. So yeah, fair point. Ria, I mean, does it even matter to you, integrated ecosystem, or is it only for B2B players?
I think, see, it depends on, it's not as if we can build everything on our own, right?
Yeah.
Partners, they may not be clients, but
Yeah.
We do work with a lot of partners in
Partners
some other
and vendors,
sense, right? I think there are a lot of monetary or advantages, right? Which helps, I think, startups in their early days, right? It helps keep costs lower. It helps innovate also, right? I think
With a
that
closed
by
group, yeah.
itself is something which we would find very, very, very useful. So yeah, maybe not for the exact reasons that would help a B2B company, but definitely I think we are as much integrated in our journey.
So yeah, I
with
mean, in a
several
nutshell,
other
integration is key and helps.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Sudarshan, moving towards airport, I mean, will there be a cost arbitrage? Will companies save both in terms of costs when it comes to setup and commercial space, as compared to also getting the added advantage of an ecosystem?
Well, honestly, yes, there is definitely a huge cost arbitrage, right? And more importantly, this, like how you mentioned, right? We were not, as a city, I think Bangalore was just not prepared for this population explosion. I would say, like, there was a point where we had 80% of the people as Bangaloreans and 20% being rest of India. Today, too, I think it's the flip side. It's 30% Bangaloreans and 70%.
Yeah.
So the city just grew overnight. Obviously, when you do that, you can't have all the planning in place, right? And even if you do, you'll all go wrong, because you thought, okay, it'll be growing at 2x speed, but it eventually went up at 5x speed, right? So, places which is about 40 kilometers away where the airport is today, these are areas which are not developed at all, which means now you can have a very thought proactive development which is there. Like Bangalore Airport is a classic example of how proactive development thought has been put in for multiple things, right? Like all the infrastructure which is there right now near the airport, and what they're going to do proactively, at least whatever I know for that matter, is really keeping in mind 20 years ahead for that matter, right? So if there is a cost arbitrage is one side, I would say, because a house to rent here to there might probably you save up 5,000-6,000 rupees, to an office space you rent here and there, probably you might again probably save up about 20-30 rupees per square feet. But you need to understand, for a large IT company at any given point of time, their real estate expense is 1% or 2% at max, right? People cost is 90-95% at the end of the day. So cost arbitrage is the second aspect. What they would look at is a better infrastructure around, great facilities which can absorb traffic, which can absorb everything for that matter, is something which would be ideal if the airport
Something like
and
this
suburbs
also.
around that can
And add to that the savings of travel time.
as well.
So, great. I think thank you, panelists. We had a great discussion, and what clearly comes out is that Bangalore is there. There are some slight bottlenecks in terms of infrastructure, in terms of integrated ecosystem that can be developed, and this obviously we will put up to government and the concerned authorities to take up soon. We have a couple of questions from our audience, and this is for Strata. How does Strata reduce the high capital requirement for investors?
Okay. Well, right now, so we are very early on in our business, right? Like, do mention that as a whole concept, when we started out what we're doing, if it was just another city, maybe different, right? But Bangalore as a city is very receptive to newer ideas, right? Like, I mean, there's a saying in the startup thing कि आप Bangalore try करो, अगर Bangalore में workout हुआ तो फिर India try करो, right? So, so that is what it is. I mean, we started out even today. I mean, we manage about close to $80 million for a company which is 1.5 years old. This is phenomenal, especially in the pandemic, selling real estate for that matter. You can imagine that. So post pandemic, we definitely see that. Okay, this is a brighter side which we can see as such, but the bigger point is that even till date, about 60% of our investor base is from Bangalore, right, who are investing, people from this part of the town. So in terms of cost reducing, it takes time. We need to still build the platform even more mature to what it is. And like I said, once it gets mature, we are happy to reduce the ticket size of entry as we move.
Yeah, I mean, early stages yet. There's a follow-up question as well. Can we solve the capital crunch with cash easy for the industry or just personal space?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Can we solve the capital crunch with cash easy for the industry or just personal space? I'm not very sure of.
Not sure, but I think I can probably interpret the question in a way that can there be, so today on our platform we don't have debt.
Yeah.
It's pure 100% equity investments what
That's
we are
costly,
making. But
so-
yeah, with time, I mean again, we've taken a couple of trips to Bombay to make people understand the fact that making even bankers understand that, hey, we sell real estate digitally and people are enjoying everything digitally, they can track everything transparently, etc. It's very difficult for them to absorb it. Like, oh, how can you don't get the sale deed copy itself, you know, the entire piece, how can I give you a loan around it, right? So that awareness is still lacking. So perhaps once, you know, which is why I want these regulatory bodies, I want these banks, you know, development or innovation labs here, so that, you know, we can make them understand how things are happening and make their customers, make them talk and say, hey, this is what the customer wants as well, why not you build a product for them, right? And our platform can help you distribute it.
So clearly regulators are slightly behind the market right now. Yeah. So I think that's a question from the audience. So thank you all panelists. It is a great discussion, and I'm sure the audience would have realized what the city offers and how does the city help startups bootstrap and grow. So, and I hope the city continues to evolve and create more infra for startups to come in and flourish. So thank you everybody. Thank you.
Where there is life, there is hope, there is meaning. But life has its downs as much as its ups. Life is about challenges. Life is about opportunities. Time for joy, time for celebration, and time to introspect. Thankfully, in every one of life's moments, and even beyond life itself, there's LIC. Where there is life, there's always LIC. Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi.